Hello and welcome to another episode of MotorInc First. Karthik went to Delhi, got thoroughly soaked because of a security hiccup, and we're not going to go into the security hiccup, and ended up therefore going viral for the second time in the same week. But he is recovering now and ready to talk to us about the new updated Renault Kiger.
Kiger, yeah, Renault Kiger. Absolutely.
I'm not going to do the French accent because he does it better.
Yeah, so Renault Kiger facelift, the update. This car originally came out in 2021. And
it sold what? 300, 500?
No, better than that. Better than that.
I'm guessing. I'm not judging the car.
I don't have the exact numbers, but
it sold well for them, reasonably well for them.
Yeah, it sold reasonably well for them. And they have, of course, the platform twin, which is the Nissan Magnite. And
the Magnite sells really well for Nissan.
Correct.
Because it's the number one because it's in a field of one at Nissan.
So that's the interesting thing. You would assume that Renault would be outselling the Magnite?
No, I would not assume
No?
that.
Why?
No. Because I see Magnites everywhere. I don't really see Kigers.
Correct. And the thing for me was that because Renault is the more established nameplate with a wider service network in India.
Oh, in India.
Right? Service network also much larger than what Nissan has. So you would think that the Kiger would outsell the Magnite, but it's the other way around.
It's the other way around.
And fair point, like you said, for Nissan, they have only one bow in their quiver, whereas for Renault there are three, so to speak, bows, and more coming along the way. So they've had more things to look at, and which was an interesting insight as well, and we'll see some of that in this conversation as well. So by and large, Renault Kiger facelift, so this is not going to be a dramatic change, but there were expectations riding on this car because of what Nissan did with the Magnite when they facelifted it, right? Because they went and transformed it from being a budget, well-priced car, like a car with a fantastic price tag
and
good basics, and they took it up market, like in the sense they made it feel good. So you saw that, and you'd think that, Renault's going to do exactly the same stuff.
No, and I think I should also set context here. I generally am not too interested in cars, although I love talking cars with Karthikeya Singhi. But the Kiger, I'm going to make a little bit of an exception for, because the details are in the motoring circles and you can see the post on it and stuff. But I was looking for a blue for my KTM 390 Adventure. And we painted it 2 times and we couldn't figure it out. And then one day I was in my parking lot and on this side was a Jeep Cherokee and on this side was a Renault Kiger. And I sent both the pictures to Zubin. I said, what do you think? And he said, I think the Kiger. And the paint shop guy was really happy that we gave him a specific car because this is the easiest way to find the right paint. And now the color that you see on my 390 Adventure Ferrocini is actually a Renault Kiger blue.
And the blue's really working on the bike for sure.
Yeah, and is the blue still there?
I'm not sure.
Aditya confirmed it is still there.
It's still there. Okay. And since we're talking about colors, the Kiger has 2 new colors. One is this bright yellow kind of metallic one, which looks really young and cool. And there's quite the opposite, a very mature looking color, which is the one that I drove. It's a gray.
You drove the mature color?
A carbon gray. I had no choice in the matter. I was given I would have gone for the yellow. But I got this carbon grayish kind of color. And
so like a Nardo grey evolution, as it were.
Nardo grey has a slight flatness to this. This doesn't have...
Not that flat.
Yeah, it's not flat. It has a slight metallic and blackish hint to it.
Nice.
So it's a nice... It's a smart color. And I think the first thing and the really big change that you can talk about here is the design. In the entire car, there's only one piece of metal that has changed from a design standpoint, which is the hood. And everything else that has changed is plastic parts. So the front bumper is new. The tail lamps at the rear now are clear lens tail lamps. They used to look red even when they were not lit earlier. Now that's not the case. I think the big takeaway there is the problem for the Kiger was that you could not tell whether you were looking at a Kiger or whether you were looking at a Quid.
Right.
That was, I think...
They were too close to each other, yes.
They just looked like... Invariably, I have done this.
And this is bad for the Kiger because the Kiger cost a lot more quid than the Quid.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to make him laugh because it makes him cough and then you have to interrupt the recording and cut forward, but I can't help it.
So, and this is something I would do every time I saw what I thought was a Kiger. I'd wait for it to cross me and then I'd look at the rear because the rear is different.
Right.
So then you'd know like, oh no, it's the Kiger, it's the Quid, whatever. So now the face itself, they have changed significantly. They've been clever about it, which is great for them because the headlamps, the DRLs, those are all the same. But the housing that it sits in, the surround for it and all is different. So it immediately looks like a different car. You will not think of the Quid for sure. And you will not think old Kiger with this either. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen the car, so does it become more masculine, more flashy, like the Magnite became? How has the design evolved?
You know what I would call this? Do you know what a compass looks like?
Yeah.
You know the Jeep flavor for the face?
Oh, you meant the Jeep Compass?
Yeah.
I thought like.
No, Jeep compass.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe for me,
Okay.
which is a very
Solid and stable.
very handsome kind of looking, like sophisticated, expensive, but yet solid. You know, the first thing I thought of in pictures when I saw the Kiger was that this is reminding me of the Jeep family a lot.
So not so French and slightly quirky anymore.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's a handsome looking car.
Okay.
So it's moved away, and interestingly, I saw some. At that event, we've still not driven or seen the updated Triber, right? But there was one at the event, and I saw that. And from a distance, again, I felt like this is a different feel to a Renault car.
So little less quirky, little more appeal, little more solid.
Yeah, there's something what they're doing about the proportions for the headlamp and the way it's flowing. Because in the in the Triber, it's different. And when we get it, we'll talk more about it. But there was a sense that there's a slightly different feel to these cars that you're seeing now compared to earlier. Not that the Triber was bad looking in the first place. I think it was a good look. It's a good looking car. So design-wise, that's basically the change. There are new alloy wheels, and that's about it. Slight change in some badging and stuff like that, and that's about it.
When you said one metal body panel has changed and everything else that has changed is plastic, and for some reason my head it went influencer. I don't know why.
Influencer?
Yeah.
What do you?
Because if an influencer has an appearance and they want to change that appearance fundamentally, all they can do is change the plastic parts, really.
Please translate that for me. I'll need help translation with this. I have no idea what this means.
This is not my fault. This is me trying to find motorcycle content and Instagram refusing to show me motorcycles because I'm 50 years old, single and male. So therefore I must be only interested in one thing, plastics.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Which I'm very happy to say does not happen on motoring circles. You see what you need to see and the search engine will show you exactly what you need to see. I'm so happy that we built that. No, sorry.
No, that's perfect. So about the exterior, aside from the colors and the design changes, the slight change to the badging and stuff like that, the new Renault logo and all which has come in, which is actually one of the reasons why the hood has changed. Because earlier the logo used to kind of protrude into the hood.
Yeah, it was a big rhombus and vertical rhombus.
And it's still like that, but it's positioned lower. And it's a flat looking design now. Like a lot of the logos have become a flatter look because of better representation in digital spaces. So now the logo doesn't protrude into the grill. So the grill is like that clamshell style and all of that. That's basically it. So if you were looking at just the design changes, it's the face that's going to look different. The rest of it is pretty much the same.
Got it.
Move to the inside. And this is where, now we've driven only the top spec version. They have gone with, I think, two significant changes. One is that the seats, earlier the cabin used to look very dark. It was all black. Now with the seats, they have a grayish kind of finish for the center portion of the seats, and the rest of it is a darker shade. But it does make the cabin look lighter and better for it.
Didn't the Tata Harrier EV also have a similar detail?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, something like that. And the seats also now, and this is the interesting thing, everything that the Magnite has done, the Kiger has not done.
Okay.
But it's done something of its things its own way, so to speak.
Yeah, well, it's supposedly French.
They may have tackled the same problem, but arrived at it from different directions.
Have they reached a different conclusion in the process? Sometimes.
It's interesting. It is interesting. I don't know how to peg this really, but in some ways you can say that it's good with the Kiger now that Renault is playing the game that they should have played in the first place.
Got it.
And Nissan plays the game that they are playing, and they're playing that well enough.
Right.
So I think there's a very interesting thing happening. Okay, I'll get to that. So this thing is that this car now gets ventilated seats, which The Magnite did not.
Right.
With the update, they got those special material on the seats which help you stay cooler, but it really isn't the solution. So this gets
Actual ventilation
function, and again very nicely integrated. The button stacks on these cars have always been very nice, very well laid out, even the aircon controls. So all of that is carried over, but everything that you see from the Magnite to here, there is a slight difference. Like the Magnite got this ionizer for cleaning up the air and stuff, and that logo you can see in the controls for the aircon, which is not there over here. This also has its air filtration system, but it's not integrated. The display is not integrated over there. So they have done, it's not like they've just taken parts from each other and slapped them on.
It's not one-to-one collaboration.
They have done things
Nice.
differently.
Okay.
So the ventilated seats is the most obvious example, right? And now the main thing that I think Renault has been smart about, at least right now, is that they have chosen to go the more premium route by offering this one feature. And I'm going to say it's this one feature that's going to set it apart from the Magnite while offering a lower price tag.
Okay.
And not an insignificant amount. So the interesting thing is with the prices. Now, this is somewhere between 6.3 lakhs to 11.3 lakhs and they have two engines, right? They've always had two engines. One is the naturally aspirated 1 liter, and the other is the turbocharged.
Yeah.
The turbocharged variant costs 11.3 lakhs for this top spec variant. And the same engine on the Magnite is 11.8 lakhs.
Okay.
While not having ventilated seats, right?
Right.
So Renault,
sorry, just for my reference, was the Kiger the less expensive car in the last?
no.
Okay.
That's the thing. So that's what I was coming to. So what happened the first time around was Magnite was the first one to come out, and their price tag was insane for back then.
Right.
Right. I think they started at 5 lakhs or something like that.
Yep.
It was nuts. And Renault, by virtue of maybe being the larger brand, etc., they positioned themselves higher than the Magnite. And in that sense, they shot themselves in the foot. Now, this time, while they've gone and spec'd this car to feel like a more premium car, they have managed to price it lower than the Magnite. And I think that is the key point in the story, full stop. Okay. They have managed to do that. They have managed to price themselves well, price the Kiger well, because at 11.3 lakhs for the top spec variant, which means you have a turbo petrol engine, you have a CVT automatic with these ventilated seats, you're getting a lot of car. You're getting a lot of car. Now,
the one feature you were saying.
So the one feature that was there was the ventilated seats. Now, the other things were all the softer aspects. So, for instance, the suspension. Now, Renault is a brand we've always said, right? They have killed suspension, and suspension is like black magic. You get it or you don't get it. And Renault somehow always used to get setups right. And the Kiger was the one car that did not feel Renault enough. It didn't feel Renault. It used to have this stiff kind of feel. So again, between Magnite and Kiger, even when they first came out, the Kiger setup was slightly different. And it was slightly better, but they both felt a bit crude. So it would be like you'd feel a little bit of that firmness, and then it would handle big stuff, but it would not feel good, right? It would work. It would work fine, but it would not feel good. That was the thing. Now here with the suspension setup and everything that the Renault team that we were speaking to, so that everything has been, they'll say nothing has changed, right? But then they'll say everything has been optimized.
Right.
Everything has been tweaked. So whether it's the engine, whether it's the suspension, whether it's the body shell, everything has been tweaked little bit. One of the reasons for that is that the weight has gone up. It's gone up by 25 kilos for this car. Now it has 6 airbags as standard. It has ventilated seats, so weight, all of that has a little bit gone up. And they're saying everything from the chassis also has been optimized for that, for crash performance. So everything adds up. And so we've done tweaks like that to the suspension as well. Now, whatever they've done, irrespective, the one thing I can tell you is that now driving around in this car is enjoyable over our road. So I was driving it in Manesar outside of ICAT, and over there, so people were joking that, are you sure you want to take the car out? They were not joking, actually. I thought they were joking. Are you sure you want to take the car out? I said, yeah, why? So, no, the roads are a disaster. I said, that's perfect. It's like, no. These are the kind of roads where trucks kind of disappear into. And they were not kidding. Like, there were patches where it was like trucks were slowing down to make their way through stuff. It was that bad. And of course, in the spirit of testing, we said we will do as much as we think is doable. But one of those potholes, while coming out, it did go. I stopped, checked. So there's a little slight scratch in the chin underbody over there. But it was rough and it was raining. So a lot of stuff, a lot of points, you didn't know how bad the stuff was under the water, right? So stuff like that. So I was taking it out and people were like, are you sure you're going to take it out? I said, no, we'll do this. So took it out. And in those conditions, to be able to drive just cleanly, I was very pleased because I didn't have to think about, doing the grimace when you see something rude. No, that didn't happen. The other area where you would feel that the lack of sophistication in the suspension was typically, the rumble strips, the painted strips. The car used to just start moving around. A couple of places where I didn't manage to find a good stretch to do that, this felt more compliant. So it has a good balance at both sides, right? For the small movements and for the big movements, right? At slow speeds and at higher speeds. So it was and to me, it was like, in my notes is written, now it feels Renault.
Got it.
Is it going to be the most sophisticated suspension setup in this sector? I'm not sure about that. We didn't drive it as much as we usually do. Like, this is less than 100 kilometers. Usually we'd be driving at least 150 kilometers. And this time, we didn't have that time. But in that, the overall sense of the suspension moving in the right direction is clear. There's no two ways about it. Tire sizes, same as before, so nothing has changed on that front. Braking setup, nothing has changed on that front. Even the brakes, actually, that's something that has always been a sticking point with these cars, because they're very small diameter discs, right? And they look small. And there are a couple of things in the engineering of both these cars, the Magnite and the Kiger, where you'll notice these strange things. So the disc dia is very small.
Okay.
And whenever you look at it, you're like, man, how can it be so small for a car this big, right? Now, the interesting thing about these brakes is that for emergency stops, the power is fine.
Okay.
Right? But when you're just doing normal braking at times, it feels a little spongy. So the positivity is not there.
The connection is weak.
So you end up thinking of it as, this is budget car. That's the thing.
But it's a feel thing, not a actual performance thing.
It works fine. That's the thing we discovered when we were testing both the Kiger and the Magnite earlier before the facelifts. Because the first thought was, the feel is not good. This is feeling budget. And I said, I don't want to push this because if it's weak, and they said, okay, we got to find out. And then when we did push it, like hard stops, you realize it works fine. So it's not like it's that aspect of the product is not poorly engineered. It's just the feel is not great, right? Now, in this instance, now again, I'm going to say this is a caveat. When we get the cars here, we will explore this further. But it seems like something has improved here as well, because I don't remember being able to modulate these brakes earlier.
Got it.
Now I could. Like, I tried a couple of, let's say, late braking maneuvers to say that. So for this is like, typically you're on an empty road and you'll be driving a little bit quickly, let's say, for that point that you've chosen to brake for. And can you hit that marker or not, right?
Right.
Those kind of things, right? And you find that, hey, I'm being able to judge this well enough. It's not like I'm missing my markers or it's not predictable enough. So this seemed like, again, a small
step up,
and all these things will help make the car feel more connected to drive and therefore like a better experience.
So this is the Atomic Habits facelift.
Correct. This would be that 1% everywhere kind of situation. And that's
it's not a bad thing. Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Actually, that's a superb analogy, because if you look at this car right now and say that, what's the big deal in this? You're right. There's no big deal in this.
But when you drive it, there is a big deal.
Everything 1% adds up to it feeling like a very solid car.
And then you add the price and reposition, then it becomes a persuasive.
Yeah. So they'd always done this thing about, now if you think about it as an idea between the Magnite and the Kiger was always the cooler car, right? With the sportier roof, and it had that design for the center console, which is high, and it had drive modes, proper selector for the drive modes and all of that, which is all there. So that's how they were differentiated, I would think. That is how they try to separate their two products. And in that sense, the Kiger has been the less practical car of the two because of how they've configured the cabin and stuff like that.
Right.
But practically, even this is a good car, and that remains. So, which means in the back seat, space for two adults, good. Boot until the arrival of the Kia Ceros. This was the best boot that you could have.
Okay.
So, which means it's still a very spacious boot. Underneath is a space saver, not a full-size spare wheel. That's the one thing to remember. So the cabin has always been practical, continues to be practical. And suspension improvement, we went to steering. Okay, the steering was the other thing. Steering, it also is that other odd bit of equipment in the car. It has a very tall gearing. So like typically you'll have most cars which will go from lock to lock in like three turns. Right? In this, you go well over 3. It's like 4. So it's like just you end up giving it a lot more input to get the car turned, right?
Okay.
For a given. So that's something that always feels a little strange whenever you get into this car. And with the drive mode,
The Magnite doesn't have 4 turns lock to lock.
same. Both the
okay.
cars.
Both
It's
these cars.
same for both the cars.
But it is known to dart into places like an Ertiga and make you feel like that guy's driving
Yeah,
badly.
so you won't do that. That's the upside to this. And to be fair, most scenarios it'll feel fine.
Yeah.
But it's every now and then you're just like, what's going on? Why am I taking so much
Keep
time?
pacing and pacing and pacing.
Yeah. And the other way that I feel about this, and these are all those interaction points that I feel about these cars, and these are those details which make a car feel special or not, right? It's like that the weight for the steering ends up varying a bit.
Okay.
And that's something that always, it feels a little heavier than you expect, or a little lighter than you expect at times. And this car with the drive mode, so if you put it in sport, the steering does get heavier and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the motor assist is being altered by the ride modes.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So this has always had those drive modes to do all these things. And to drive, this is good. So I asked them whether they'd done any retune for the engines. So they said the last that it happened was for the E20, which was earlier this year. So whatever adaptations needed to be done was done then.
So if after that is only emissions, OBD2B, etc., whatever little changes have happened, that's it.
So after that, they said there's been nothing. Whatever was needed was done by then. They had to be compliant by April.
Right.
So that work was done. Now, the reason why I asked was because specifically you could see that they have not followed the same kind of pattern that we've seen with Nissan. And here too, the question was, would the turbo CVT feel smooth enough in city scenarios? And you immediately at lower speeds, you find that it does drive nicely. It drives easily. So this combination to me remains like a great balance between being punchy and being usable. And with this smoother kind of driving manners at low speeds, it's really a good combination. The downside to this, and it has always been, is that it's not going to be the most fuel efficient car in this segment. It's not going to be. Whatever the numbers are, I'll put them up on the screen, the claim numbers. We'll see what it is when we drive it again here. But I'll also put up what the numbers were the last time when we tested. So you'll have a ballpark of where it's at, but fuel efficiency is not the strongest point. While value on the whole for these two cars, both these siblings, has been their highlight, fuel efficiency has not been the highlight. Typically, people who are looking to buy one of these and are super value conscious, they will go for the base engine, which is also 1 liter, 3-cylinder, available with a 5-speed manual or an AMT.
Okay.
Now, this engine is a dull engine. It's good enough for somebody who wants a tool to commute with.
Got it.
Typically, city use. You can use it on the highway as well. But on the highway, you'll again have to be in that state of mind which says that I'm taking it easy. And in that scenario, it will be fine because it's smooth enough, it drives well enough, all of that. But the second you say, I want something more from this, you're going to hit a wall, right?
And that's when you need the turbo.
And that's when, which is why the turbo is always the engine that I end up focusing on, because I know that as a car, I'm not thinking that I have a car for one purpose only. I have a car, which means I will want to do many things with it, and which is why I will want something that I will enjoy for many years and in many different scenarios.
Understood.
Right? So we only drove the turbo with the CVT just now, and credit to them. Like when you go to sport mode, because it's a CVT, it changes the gearing also, right?
Does this have steps in the?
Yeah, so that's the other thing. So it also has that. So they call it the D step or something like that. So yeah. So what Shumi is referring to is like CVTs, people will typically complain about them feeling unnatural because when you accelerate hard, they'll go to whatever is peak RPM, the best RPM for the engine to be at, and
Sit there and sit at that RPM while the vehicle gains speed. And it's really, really weird if you're not used to it.
Correct. And we are not used to it because we're used to a car with regular gears. And that's suboptimal from an efficiency standpoint because the CVT can create infinite ratios, right? And the CVT keeps changing the ratios and the engine revs remain where they are. And that's happening. So what car makers have realized is that we as humans do not like this strange behavior, right? Because for us, it's strange. So CVTs now imitate gear shifts. So they'll hold one ratio, switch to another, switch to another, switch to another, like that, so that it feels more natural. And that's something we've seen even with the Creta, we've seen it with the Magnite, you see it here with the Kiger. So this is something that makes a car feel more natural, more predictable, and that's there over here as well. Now, the last thing remaining is the sound insulation. Again, what happened to the Magnite hasn't exactly happened over here. So the Magnite, one of the things that I remember was that it had the front windows. They had increased the thickness of the glass, right? They haven't done that here. But here, they have gone with the floor mat, the firewall, and the A-pillar. A-pillar, I think, was there even on the Magnite. But these other two things, they said, we've gone 25% increase in GSM on the sound deadening in both these, in all these areas. I was just like, why would you choose to not go the other way when that's already been tested out? They said it's quite simply our choice to do the more efficient solution. And for us, this was more efficient because we'd be saving on weight, etc., whatever it is. So, good news, it does feel like a quite.
So the Europeans are saving weight while the Japanese are.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what the sense in this is. But the point is they have gone different routes. I don't know how, right? So the good thing is that the cabin feels quieter. The car feels smoother to drive because of the suspension, because of the way the engine and gearbox are working together, because of the quieter cabin. And in this, again, because of the glass, I was concerned about pass-by noise, but it didn't feel like an issue in the car while driving it around. It felt like a complete car.
Nice.
Right? With regards to the sound, the other issue which was there again with both these cars was the plastic rattles. Now this car is new, so I'm gonna say, who knows? But this didn't have any plastic rattles.
Did the Magnite have plastic rattles when you tested it?
Magnite,
the update?
The update also had, I would say, far reduced. It had a bit. In this car, I did not. And this has those two glove boxes. So you would think that there was more chance of stuff going wrong here. But this time around, that also felt positive.
Good.
So the overall experience ended up feeling like a step up, while value has gone, let's say, 2 steps up. And one of the things that I did end up checking out was the sound system, almost on a lark, because this is again one of those tuned systems. Good. Right? Like enjoyable. Doesn't feel like a token system that's been thrown in with the tuning badge. It was enjoyable to use. And now the few demerits that are there. Compared to the Magnite, 8-inch touchscreen, whereas the Magnite gets a 9-inch.
1 inch,
Yeah. And this, you will think it doesn't have a 360-degree camera, but it does. Somehow how it displays the feed is that at a point, you choose which camera feed you want to look at. It doesn't show you all.
So it doesn't have a 360-degree stitched feed.
It doesn't stitch the feed together. So I tried looking for a setting where.
So DIY and D-step.
DIY.
Yeah, you're making the 360-degree stitching in your head. The car is not willing to do it for
So
you.
you don't get the feed of the 360
Did
together.
they tell you why they didn't do that?
Actually, I did not ask them. I did not ask them this. I missed out on this. I will ask them and I will get back to you. Why?
I know what they would have said. Your eyes are on one side of your head, but you see the world around you quite easily. So, I mean, why would you need to see all the way around your car? It's a small car, man. Learn how to drive.
So because I don't know where I picked this up, but I remember somebody saying that there's no front cam. And actually the cam is not usually, we're used to seeing it in the logo. It's underneath that. It's in the grille. But it's there. So it has cameras on all four sides.
And does it have a selfie cam and a dash cam and all
No,
this
thankfully
also?
none of that.
Oh,
None of that. It doesn't have ADAS. Very good. Money saved. Lives saved. And yeah. So this is a car that in terms of frills is low. It's always been low. It has stuff that you use and need and stuff like that.
So it's not gimmicky. It's realistic.
Not gimmicky. Exactly. So which is why that 8-inch touchscreen will feel like, oh, it's smaller than the Magnite. But it works well. It's got wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all of it works smoothly. Sound system works well. 360-degree camera hasn't been the greatest in any of these setups. It's not great here either. It's fine. It's par for the course. At this price point, like a Sonnet or a Nexon would have fantastic 360-degree cameras. No two ways about it. And some of the shortcomings that were there with this car remain. Like that high center console means that access to your seatbelt buckle is awkward, and that continues to be the case now.
Do you use the seatbelt when you drive the car?
Are good question.
Because it's a 5-star car or something, so why do you need the seatbelt?
We don't know whether this is a 5-star car. We'll come to know whether it is or not. But this used to be back when it was first tested with just 2 airbags. It had scored 4 stars then. Now it has 6 airbags as standard. And the good thing with this car is all the electronic stability aids and
So
stuff
if
like that.
2 airbags was 4 stars, so this is an 8-star car.
I have to hold it in.
Okay, we're making jokes about crash testing, but we don't take it lightly. What we actually think of crash testing is in a podcast episode. Easiest to find is on the app, but I think that episode's also on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's members only or not. Please go check it out. On the app, I can guarantee that it is free to watch. It will tell you how we approach crash tests. We don't disregard them, but when they're used for marketing, then lots of caveat emptors apply. That means you have to keep your eyes and ears open when you interpret the information the manufacturer is giving you.
And since we talk about crash tests, also sunroofs, this doesn't have one still.
Okay.
Apparently, this platform cannot take a sunroof.
Oh, thank God for small mercies.
So that's what's there. Now, again, relative to the Magnite, the thing where the Magnite continues to punch above the Kiger is when you look at...
How many cars did you load into that one sentence, bro? The Magnite continues to punch above the Kiger.
Oh, nice. Okay, I missed that. So for every variant that the Kiger has, the Magnite has an equivalent.
Okay.
But the Magnite packs in more features.
Okay.
So it'll go one step. So like let's say wireless smartphone connectivity will be available in one variant below on the Magnite relative to the Kiger.
So the value quotient there is higher.
Is definitely higher. But the wow quotient here on the higher variants, they've gone and delivered that. And the interesting thing is that, like we said earlier also, like Nissan only has one model. So they have to make it work from all sides.
Yeah.
Whereas for Renault, this is now they are anticipating now, this will be let's say maybe a step down model for somebody who's looking at the Duster, because that's going to be the next product which will come next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it coming sooner?
I don't know. I'm just keep thinking that Renault should just have a Duster. Like it was a popular car and it was a successful car. And
yeah. Now let's see.
Every time I hear about the Duster, it's still a few months away and a few more months away and a few more months
From whatever I understand,
this is my perception of it. Okay, I could be 100% wrong because I don't pay attention to any of this.
I don't know when it's coming really, but I think it's next year. And in that, I think the only point that I would like to emphasize now for anybody who's listening is that the Duster should maintain this value set.
Got it.
Just because it's a Duster and because it's known in India doesn't mean that it should suddenly become this exorbitant thing. It should maintain this level-headedness where you say, I can punch above what others are doing in some ways at least.
Arrogance should not happen.
And continue to deliver value that people will appreciate. That is when people will really respect the products and the brands.
Don't think of it as a sequel in a successful franchise. Think of it as chapter 1 was very good. Let's make a better chapter 2.
And it's been a long time since that chapter 1.
Yeah.
A lot of things have changed since then.
There's a reason why the Marvel universe doesn't seem to exist anymore. I'm just saying. It was done and dusted. Anything from your notes?
Yeah, just one thing. For everyday driving, I think this has become even clearer to me now after driving, because this car has 3 drive modes, right? There's Eco, Normal, Sport. Eco is actually the right one for everyday city use, stop-go traffic. It's smooth, has enough performance for you to keep pace and all of that stuff. And also because of the fuel efficiency angle. Because the last couple of times that we've driven this car, we don't end up using Eco mode as the mode in which to do these tests. It's the normal mode.
Right.
But this time I'm thinking that we should try that out as well.
When it comes for testing.
Yeah, when it comes for testing, because there is a difference in the efficiency between the two, and normal mode
Did they give you a latitude idea of what the expectation might be?
I haven't even asked them, because typically they have that one number and that's about it. So I think that will be an important thing to keep in mind, because I think the difference will be significant enough for people who are looking to get one.
But it's not important anymore, right? Because there's 20% ethanol. Ethanol is cheaper than petrol. So the fuel prices are falling all the time, right? Oh, did I press a nerve? Mr.
I just
100% petrol Ignis.
If you think cars are family, I just see
Them eating bad food.
obituaries everywhere.
Eating bad food.
I see obituaries straight, because there's going to be no future for them. It's shit.
I hope that the Supreme Court PIL leads to a more rational result.
Yeah, because the thing that really gets the solution will surely be created where you will get an E0. Only thing is that it will be priced at 200 rupees a litre. They'll say, we've provided. Take. I'm sure that
But we are a well-off country. I don't think 200 rupees a litre is going to deter anyone.
And it'll be there only. You want to keep your old polluting cars alive, then pay the price for it. Old polluting cars are only 5 years old.
We have to have replacements.
This is a great way to get rid of the really old cars, get them off the road. All the trucks, buses, and personal vehicles which are now done way beyond and are polluting. This is a great way to sweep them off the roads and everything else along with it as well.
By mistake.
What is it? Friendly fire. Yeah, it's fine. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, there's a Murphy's Law for, I think, warfare or something. And one of the Murphy's Laws is friendly fire isn't.
Where you smile.
Okay, so from what I understand, it's not a quick summary, I don't think we need it, it's too short. So they've essentially done a French work week's worth of work on the Kiger, but it adds up. And instead of feeling like a cheap Parisian hamburger, it does feel like a proper, well-made, nutritious meal.
Yes.
Small changes everywhere, like the book Atomic Habits suggests, but they add up. So that's why if you look at what he said has changed in the car, it's all super vague, because they optimized this and tuned that and updated that and minus that and increased that. But when he drives, he's saying very clearly, he drove only the turbo CVT. And before your comment saying you guys only drive the top models, at the manufacturer's event, it is not a choice that we have. If a manufacturer provides multiple variants, we would try to drive all, which is why you will see MotorInc First, where he said, I drove the diesel, I drove the petrol, I had the manual, I had the middle variant, etc. Bottom variants are very rarely even at those events. This time we had the option of driving the CVT turbo petrol. That's what we did. It came in the top trim. That's what we did. If tomorrow Renault offers us alternative variants, we would love to explore that. It doesn't happen often. Just fact, it does not happen often. But he's saying the drivability has improved, comfort levels seem to be better from a variety of angles, the amount of equipment is better, ventilated seats have come, and still, while the wow factor is higher than the Magnite, the price is lower than the Magnite. And the Magnite, which is its close sibling, the prices are higher, but the value quotient is also very high. So now Renault and Nissan are taking slightly different strategies to these platform siblings, which is good to see. Last time there were a little bit of a design issue in the sense you couldn't tell a Kwid or a Kiger apart. And if you can't tell the expensive car apart, then that's a little bit of loss of value for the person who purchased the more expensive vehicle, also solved. So on all of these fronts, it's a good thing. Questions from circles?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to skip right till the end of this video because this section is called questions from circles. Circles is a social media corner of the MotorInc app. It's free to use. The app is free to download. And Karthikeya posted there from his profile saying, we're discussing the Kiger today. What would you like to know? Those are the questions we'll take. If you're on YouTube, you will not be able to see the questions. Shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Right. And that's all the questions we have.
Yeah, awesome.
What are you driving next?
Right now, my book is a little bit empty. How about you?
Pre-Diwali empty book.
Very nice.
The market slow or what?
I don't think so. I think it's just all ready to come. We've got block your dates from Mahindra and Tata,
Multiples of them.
multiple going up into January 2026.
Nice.
So that has already started happening. And there are a few. There's something in the middle of September from Maruti Suzuki, which we'll be driving. But we haven't fixed the travel and all right now. That's one of the things. There are other few cars in the pipeline that if they work out, we'll see. And it'll be nice.
What is happening with Tesla and VinFast? Are we driving those?
So Tesla is something that we also took our time saying that let this settle down. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
So we should be driving the Tesla.
No, and there's no rush. If they're going to sell, 12 cars a year, whether we do it now or 3 months later is honestly not going to be.
And I think it will be an interesting...
No, as an experience, it will be interesting, but as time, it is not critical.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely on the money there. So that's there. VinFast is gearing up towards their launch. So that's also something that's happening, but we don't have exact dates on that right now.
Now we'll close the episode off here. If you think there are questions on the new Kiger that we've not fully answered, please do leave us a comment. If you're going to do it, we prefer you do it on the app, because on the app we can track comments, we can reply to them, and then we can build that out into a conversation if it needs it, which is extremely difficult to do on any of the other platforms. Although we do try and answer all of the incoming comments on all of our platforms, that includes YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, etc., etc. So if you'd like to have more questions, you'd like to have a conversation with us, come to the app and comment on this video. If you'd like to have a discussion with other people who own Renaults or are considering Renaults, come to the motoring circles and find them there and have very interesting conversation there, where you will get intelligent, thoughtful perspective from people who are from people who know what they want to tell you and why would they like to tell you this. It's not manipulative. There are no bots there. It's awesome. And on that note, thank you so much for watching MotorInc First. We will see you the next time. I think it will be a two-wheeler the next time.